Still happening late into the night right now, a second special legislative session. It's working out a stadium deal for the Oakland A's. So the bill lawmakers are considering includes $300 million in tax credits and bonds, $25 million in Clark County funding. The projected finish date is around 2028. Lawmakers tonight have been asking about your concerns, traffic, property taxes, and whether the stadium would be a home run or a gamble.
The same exact bill that we heard 10 days ago.
Team talks with the Oakland A's started in February, but lawmakers saw a ballpark stadium bill on Memorial Day weekend. Senator Edgar Flores says there was far more prep work for Allegiant Stadium.
And utilizing Nevadans' money. And we've been here for about 10 days.
The people that we represent don't expect us to come here and rubber stamp.
This does sound like an exciting opportunity for Nevada and the jobs.
Allow Las Vegas as a city, as a sports destination, as the sports and entertainment capital of the world to move forward.
Some lawmakers in the LVCVA back the bill for the economic benefits to aid recovery, visitors for more than 80 games, and countless conventions, sporting or musical events that need a venue. Proponents expect 27,000 visitors a game in a 30,000-seat ballpark with 70% locals to park in the Strip or take transit and walk.
Is it reasonable to assume that the A's will triple its attendance in years 1, 2, or even 3?
Facilities that have been constructed, it becomes a draw.
Can the A's generate enough revenue to pay their debts and avoid impact on your property taxes? One unnamed county official says it's unlikely, but always must be a concern.
What is the worst case scenario if things don't go well?
I don't believe that the project achieving 50%, the 50th percentile, is somehow setting the world on fire.
So what about traffic? That was actually a topic tonight, taking a live look at the backup. This is Las Vegas Boulevard at Tropicana. It's west of where the ballpark would stand. So the LVCVA says Clark County and the Oakland A's have to come up with a plan. The county's already paying $25 million. One official says if the A's want more improvements, they would have to pay. A pedestrian bridge, by the way, costs $20 million each.